Hello, everyone. I'm Sophie, a co-founder of Kinfo. Whoa. Oh. Kinfo is developing an online marketplace for business information and content. Business professionals are constantly in need of reference material. We know this because of the volume and frequency of keyword searches. People enter PPT as keyword more than 400,000 times per month at NAVER. But this type of content in high quality is not easily accessible via web or mobile in Korea. Thus, the primary way for us to access this type of content is either through acquaintances or expensive consultants. Kinfo suggests an alternative, a better solution to this problem. Kinfo allows people to do two main things. Content consumers can search, purchase, download documents. Content creators can upload and sell their own high-quality content. Our platform is optimized for both desktop and mobile. Let me tell you about Richard. He's a startup CEO building a social network platform like Instagram. He's also a model of our promotional video you can see out there at our booth A07. Let's search reference material for Richard at Kinfo. Enter keyword related to his business, such as social network. And you can see the list of high-quality professional documents concerning social network business, such as business plan for social networking. And I have a friend named Yvonne. She's running an interior design company for high-end restaurants in Korea. When making a bid, she has to prepare a lot of documents. But these materials, after making their bid, all go unused and be lost. And this can be a great value to people who urgently need it. And moreover, Yvonne will have a way to monetize her content by uploading to Kinfo. She had to create any ways for her work. Yes, here I'm talking about sharing knowledge. Let me introduce the team who will bring success to Kinfo. We firmly believe the importance of facilitating the early stages of a marketplace to ensure its success. My co-founder, Jeremy Kwan, has significant experience in creating marketplaces. He is a co-founder of two very successful Korean internet companies, XID Korea and Auction. And our technical advisor, Shin Kang, is previously a director of ENZ-MAiP, the biggest game item marketplace in Korea. We had started already seeding Kinfo by offline content acquisition. We collected more than 1,500 content in the month of April. And by June, the number of content we accumulate by offline content acquisition is more than 10,000. And for our June launch promotion, we will provide all of our content for free to get our first registered users. Our offline content acquisition and, it switched. The slide is switched, so I'll switch. Offline content acquisition and our network is our secret sauce. We will dig all high-quality content locked up in people's hard drive or desk drawers in hard copies and bring it into our database. We know this is quite difficult to educate both consumers and creators who are not accustomed to transact this kind of intangible knowledge content. But as you know, there is a growing trend for increasing people's desire to get access to digitized content in high quality. Sorry about this mix. So we prepared various marketing plans to be detected by overall users, such as blog marketing, events, content, contests, etc. So one of our strategies is an offer around 10,000 people our virtual currency Kinfo money worth $3 per person for uploading their own content. This means we can acquire more than 10,000 registered users as well as 10,000 documents for only $30,000. Based on the PwC annual report from 2014, the size of online and offline knowledge market in Korea is approximately $22 billion with the average growth rate of 5%. And specifically, the business knowledge content market is $3 billion. This is almost a 14% share of entire market. But we cannot exactly estimate the digital business knowledge market size because it is in its infancy in Korea. But globally, this market is already wide open. There are similar counterparts at US to Kinfo, such as DocSoc and Script. DocSoc evolved into a business professional content marketplace, and Script is evolved into a digital book publishing platform. DocSoc was acquired by Intuit, and Script raised over $47 million. Our profit model is so simple. We take a commission from each paid document sale, and our current take is 50% at most. I'm here at beGLOBAL 2015 to meet potential investors and to recruit talented people, especially engineers, and build some awareness about Kinfo. Share your knowledge at Kinfo. Together, let's create an ecosystem where both content creators and consumers can win. Thank you.
I have a question. So you said that you are.
Would you say a little bit louder?
Okay.
I can.
You mentioned that you do content acquisition, offline content acquisition.
Yeah.
Right. And then how do you make sure that the contents you're acquiring valuable to users?
Valuable. The content that I acquire is valuable to users. We are focusing on the need that we confirmed, that compelling need existing area. Like we can check the keyword, searching keywords, or another check route is like confirming man-to-man to people who work in the workplace. And as you see in our slides, DocSoc is providing content matching people's compelling need. That's why they become so big. So I think we already confirmed the fact in the market in outside. Yeah.
About the type of the content that
Yeah.
you are acquiring, is there any specific area of domain, or is it just general content?
Yeah, we are aiming to become a portal, actually, but we are focusing on business-targeted market because there's nothing, no place similar to DocSoc like providing a business reference material. There's some platforms to provide resource materials like standard forms, but there's not much place. I think it's known in Korea to provide reference materials for professional workers, like real contracts examples really used in the real business, even though all confidential numbers are erased. Yeah.
So I understand the idea, and I think it's an interesting proposition in many ways.
Thank you.
I think I agree with the first question. I think maybe the biggest challenge I see is quality assurance and the
Quality assurance.
Quality assurance and the credibility of the content.
Credibility.
Yeah,
we have an internal review system. We have internal editors who can review the quality, and it's streamlined to take 1 or 2 days to upload our content on our platform. And we also make an MOU with Ever Young Korea company. They are doing monitoring work for NAVER. They are senior workforce management company, and many retired professionals are working there, so they can the quality control for us.
Yeah. So, but I think one thing is quality control, and you have internal editors. But I think the credibility of the authors of these documents, and the referenceability, will be very important in order for this to create the value that we're looking for. And I think maybe the idea will be stronger if you really harnessed specific topics
and
specific experts to start?
Yeah,
in a
yeah, we are
specific
planning
segment?
to do it. We have a plan. We have some significant traffic. After that, we're going to divide our platform into user-generated market and the professional-generated, like professional content we make with our company, sold in a very high price. So we're going to quality control in that. And we're going to develop a leveling system technically, automatically. Yeah.
All right, so 2 quick questions for me. How many users did you say you have right now?
We didn't launch it.
You didn't launch it?
Yeah. We will launch it on June.
So there's no one that's using it yet?
No. It's quite interesting that by organic searching, we didn't advertise at all because we're just making our platform. But a handful of people, it's a handful people come our platform, and even they subscribe, and after the subscription, they bought our content. That means there exists a compelling need.
Yeah, that makes sense. And what about the what's like the average search queries per user that's coming onto your site?
Average search query? I don't get it. What
like average number of searches that they're making when they're actually on your site.
I don't know. I didn't check this kind of thing. Yeah, we're also developing the CMS site, so I don't know yet.
What is your strength compared to the other competitors?
Other competitors?
Is it the
many
content?
people compare us to Happy Campus or Report World. It's already existing company in Korea, but technically we are similar. But the content is a lot different because they are selling the content for resource, and they're dealing with a very limited area. But we are aiming to be a portal. We're just focusing on the business, and we are planning to give many people a reference materials that is not connected before to World Wide Web. We're gonna collect our documents from offline networking, so it's so different. I rather compare my company to DocStock. Yeah, and I have a booth there. I met 3 other Asian investors yesterday, and from Taiwan, Singapore, and Japan. They told me they know there are already existing platforms in Western, but Asian people are so defensive about giving own-made content. So if you succeed, you can go global with another Asian countries. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Tony from the CEO of Studio Seed. I'm ex-Googler. I worked at Google as a designer. Even at Google, we designers waste so much time on communication. Designers have to draw tons of sketches, wireframes, flowcharts to explain a single design idea. It is very time-consuming. Moreover, we cannot come to a decision on design at a single meeting. Meetings. In the mobile world, the problem gets worse. It looks cool, right? But how could you explain this dynamic interaction verbally or literally? Actually, we spend 6 hours on communication every day. The communication cost between designers and engineers is up to $8.5 billion. We lose a lot of money. Therefore, I recommend to prototype designs to fill the gap between designers and engineers. Yeah, prototyping can empower designers to explore interactions and accelerate the communication. But realistically, I know the sophisticated prototype requires programming skill. It is very high hurdle for designers. So today, I would like to add one more value here. Code-free. Here is our solution called Protopie. For example, Facebook Paper has a unique interaction that reveals the moving image by tilting your smartphone. Let's try to make this interaction using Protopie. Import require image and place proper positions. Then, you can select an input utilizing a sensor. Then you can add output under the input. Then you can assign an object. Here, combining 3 parts, input, output object, you can build a brand new interaction. For sophisticated prototype, you can tweak the details such as velocity or acceleration. Then, voila! Like a magic, you've just built sophisticated sensor-aided prototype with just few clicks. That looks cool, isn't it? Let me repeat, prototype is code-free. That means you can build interactive prototype without any programming skill. Prototype can utilize all sensors built-in smart devices, such as smartphone and smartwatch. And you can test your design on your real device. On average, it takes 18 weeks to build a mobile app. On the front-end development includes wireframing, UI development, UI polishing, and some more. By using prototype, you can shorten 22% of whole development time. It's pretty awesome. Of course, we have some competitors in the market. I picked up two of the most competitive and compared them with two criteria. First is degree of freedom, and the second is complexity of tool itself. First, Framer. I'm sorry to say, it is programming tool. You should learn how to code. And Origami. I'm sorry again. Actually, it is a visual programming tool. Even though you don't need to write a code, you should have programming skill. Prototype. Yes, it is code-free. It is super easy to use and offer sophisticated prototyping features. Prototype has a very competitive advantage against competitors. We will develop prototype in 3 steps. In this year, we're going to release prototype on the market and enhance continuously. Then, in parallel, we will evolve prototype to collaboration tool, which is able to share prototypes with collaborators and generate foundation code for engineers. Then, we will build community and ecosystem to share deliverables. For prototyping tool market, it is worth 1.8 billion market and is growing 60% every year. Yeah, it is a good entry market for prototype. And finally, it will be an amazing collaboration tool like Slack or Atlassian's tools. For the business model, we have 2 business models basically. First, freemium and subscription. We will let design school students use prototype for free to acquire potential users and support designers' community to spread it widely in a short time. In terms of the volume of download mobile app, China is the second largest market following United States. In this year, we are focusing on China market. We demonstrated the early version of prototype to designers at Baidu, Alibaba, Tencent in January. They were all satisfied with us. Especially, Alibaba's UI design team offered to collaborate with us to improve their quality of design deliverables and design process. Also, we got a ticket to TechCrunch Shanghai in July and were invited to top-tier design conference in July. And also, we are in the communication with China's #1 design school to open prototyping workshop classes in the near future. Last but not least, we are a veteran team. Together, we have tons of professional working experience at Google, NAVER, and Samsung. Studio Seed is making a prototyping tool, but it can make a huge impact on whole development process. 我想好，将有设计市场50%以上的中国市场共同发展。谢谢 ，Thank you。
I have two questions.
Yes, please.
The first is, you mentioned that the prototype, it's a code-free tool, right?
Yeah.
And compared to origami,
yeah,
origami is also code-free tool.
Yeah.
And but you mentioned that origami requires some kind of programming concept.
Yes,
for the designers.
Yes.
When I see your prototype, looks like the designer has to specify the input and output.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the flow of the content that flows through the application. So I also think that's, requires some programming concept. So
yeah.
my question is, what is the core differentiation of your technology compared to origami?
Yeah. I think our strong point is to understand designers' mindset, especially for how to deal with interactions. As a matter of fact, I named it input and output, but actually on the real service, we're going to name it trigger and response. I mean, we will interpret the designer's language. So to compare origami, actually, it is a visual programming tool based on the Apple's motion graphic tools, right? Quartz Composer. But our prototype, our product is serve our service in a designer's language base. So it is a big difference.
Do you have any kind of patent application or?
Yeah, of course. We have 2 patents about our concept model, to combining the elements, these interaction elements together, and then also some prototyping features. Thank you.
So quick question and then maybe like a follow-up. At this moment, you're not pushing out any code, right? Just prototypes, high fidelity sort of prototypes.
Yes, right.
And then I saw sort of on your roadmap that you're planning on setting up sort of, you said foundation sort of code for the back end and front. So the value add for you guys right now is just the fact that designers can now reduce the number of meetings that you're talking about earlier in your presentations to be able to create these high fidelity sort of mock-ups.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm very intrigued by your idea. I think this is a space that maybe on the surface is not so sexy, but I think it's a massive opportunity. Because I agree with you, there are lots of ways going on in the organization all over the world. And probably creates a lot of frustration for designers, as well for engineers, as well for product managers.
Yes, right.
So I'm very intrigued with the space in itself. I think there should be good business to be made here. I like the sensor piece that you're introducing.
Yes.
But I guess from the presentation, and of course you have very limited time, it was still a little hard for me to fully grasp the breadth and capability of your actual product and how it really differentiates from other alternatives out there. But high level, I'm very intrigued with your idea. Could you give some color on what kind of traction you have so far? If this has been used in real world, if this is more than a paper tiger so far?
Yeah, I'm so happy to answer this question. Today we just released the first version called Olido version. So in this year, we are going to release official version by end of this year. So for now we don't have any user. But we invited some influential designers in US, China, and Korea. So we are just testing for now.
Okay, so currently it's not deployed and it's not used by design teams out there?
Not yet, but we are collaborating with Alibaba's design team to prove our concept and how to support the real-world designers' works.
Okay, thank you.
So I was actually confused. So sensors, by sensors that you guys are utilizing, that's sort of the differentiator. By sensor, you're talking about sort of the native sensors, meaning like GPS, accelerometer, gyroscopes, all those kind of things is what you're able to use in your prototyping tool?
Of course.
Okay, so that's like the big differentiator that you're sort of utilizing, right?
Yeah, for now, it is our big strong point, but I don't see it is the strong point against competitors. Our very strong point is to our concept model. it is quite easy to understand for designers and also to support the whole development process. So last year, we interviewed engineers and designers in US, China, and Korea. We found that the engineers have an important role to close the loop for the design process. If engineers cannot understand deliverable from designers, the tool is not, it is quite hard to accept it by designers. So we support whole development process.
Yeah, I had that question about how the engineers, programmers perceive your products, right? So before other products, you need engineers to really create the interaction, but your product kind of put the engineers out of the picture. Is that right? But still, engineers like the whatever the deliverables you deliver out of your product.
Basically, prototyping. Yeah, prototypes are very good communication tool, not a real product, right? So for now, we are focusing on the prototype things only, and then generate the foundation code to communicate with engineers.
And other tools will generate some basic template code, but you don't, right?
But when we interviewed various engineers at Google and Samsung and LG and Alibaba and Tencent, they said that I don't want to use the auto-generated code on my app. That means that to develop real product, the engineers should consider business models and APIs and whole backend system. So it is not, I think it is not a good approach to generate whole app.
Comparing to origami, what is the difference between difference in terms of the size of the team? Actually, you have 3 members right now. It's very in early stage.
Yes, right.
And I guess origami must be much bigger than your size, right?
Yeah, for now.
So what is your strategy in differentiation? Not in terms of technology, but in terms of market penetration? Or
yes. As I told you, we're going to focus on the China market first, and then we have disruptive business model. We try to make our product as free as possible. For example, let design school students use our tool for free to acquire potential users and also unlock prototyping features to heavy users who are share their prototype for public.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
May I start? Yep. So, hello, my name is Jinu Kim, and I'm from Aurumplanet. Today, I would like to introduce to you to our service called Liner. I'd like to start with the problem we're trying to solve. Why did we start Liner in the first place? Well, first of all, I read a lot with my mobile device. I read a lot with my iPhone and iPad. And quite often, there were times that I wanted to add markers or comments on the web page so that I can tell which part is important for me. And also, there were times that I wanted to share this kind of important documents with my colleagues so that I can tell which part is important for them. I wanted to make the web page self-explanatory. And third, there were times I revisit these kind of important web pages to get information, and I got intimidated by the length I have to read all over. And one day, I realized that this was not only my problem. This was everybody's problem who read a lot with mobile device. And I also realized that to solve this problem, we don't have to add a new kind of behavior in our daily lives. We can add a familiar behavior and solve it too. And look how many bookmarkings and markings we make when you read offline. In fact, bookmarking and marking, which is highlighting, are the actions that naturally goes with reading. When we look at the bookmarking problem, we can find some successful companies that have solved this kind of problem very well. But when you see the marking section, you cannot find a proper solution that have solved this yet. So we started our journey to make a kick-ass highlighter. And on our journey, we found out that this was not an easy problem to solve, but eventually we found our way and brought a solution. And we call it Liner. With Liner, you can add highlights anywhere with your mobile device, and it'll all be saved in the Liner app. To start with, you can add highlights and comments to web pages you visit. So highlighting with Liner is super simple. You just have to touch and hold the sentence you want to highlight when the highlight mode is on, and that's all. And when you touch the highlighted sentence, you'll see a tooltip menu filled with some actions you can take, like adding a comment to the highlighted sentence itself. It's like commenting system on Medium blogs. And you can share this highlighted page with other people. We provide a share link to the users. And interesting thing about Liner's share feature is that people who got the share link don't need Liner to open it. Liner's share link works on every browser and on every device. And all the highlights you make with Liner is reliably saved in the Liner app. So you can build your own collection of it too. And lastly, extension. I told you that you can add highlights anywhere with your mobile device, and that anywhere really means anywhere. I'm quite sure you guys who use iPhone have all seen this kind of view. It's Share Action View. When you touch Share button at Mobile Safari, Flipboard, Pinterest, or whatever, you'll see Highlight with Liner button there. And when you touch that, you can highlight above those apps. There's no app transition. You don't have to open Liner app. You can highlight above Flipboard, above Pinterest, above Mobile Safari, or whatever. It just works. All right, so our business model, we have a strategy called premium to subscription strategy. For now, Liner is on a beta test with about 5,000 users. But in June, we'll have an official launch. And then we are going to change Liner app to premium app about a cost of $2. And with this price filter, we are going to gain valid users who really need Liner. And with their valid feedback, we are going to iterate again very fast to make a great highlighter. And when we figure out that when we found that Liner is great, then we are going to change Liner into a free app and add a subscription model to it. All right, so next is our team. Our team, Aurumplanet, was founded in September 2012 with the mission to make the world around Aurumplanet shine with value. We were the guys who were behind I Know Gallery, which was one of the biggest artist networks in South Korea. And when we decided to stop improve I Know Gallery last year, we used all our money we earned with I Know Gallery to go and live in Silicon Valley to learn and do global business. And there we learned a lot, and there we met our new co-founder, Sungmoon. Sungmoon was one of the co-founders of Gameville, Korea's game company. I'm quite sure a lot of you guys have read his blog a lot. And we are working really hard to make Liner great. So I'd like to end this presentation by sharing our vision. I think maybe some of you guys might think that highlighting is a trivial thing, but actually it's not. Highlighting, in essence, it's creating. When people highlight stuff, they are distilling the only important information from the entire information. So as users use Liner more and more, our database becomes the distilled version of the entire web. We are going to utilize this and make it available by everybody. You see, value comes from sharing. When the Pinterest is simply a pinning tool, it will never have become an $11 billion company, right? And same with Instagram. If it was just a camera filtering app, it will never have become a $35 billion company. Value comes from sharing digital data, and that digital data for us is highlighting a sentence. Yes, we are going to make this highlighted sentence be shared with everybody. We are going to do a collaborative filtering machine learning with our database and give the power to Liner, curate the relevant text information for our users' lives. And I'm really proud to announce that next month, Liner will be armed with this new discovery feed and discovery search. Yes, so this was our vision. And I'd like to thank you all guys listening to my presentation. Thank you.
among your competitors, actually, I think Evernote also has some highlighting features, right?
Excuse me?
Evernote.
Evernote, yeah, Evernote has one of the highlighting features.
How do you compare with that feature?
To use Evernote's highlighting, you have to export the web page to your Evernote, inside your Evernote. And yeah, that's the difference. We can give users more easy experience on the highlighting because we can highlight above, like Dropbox, above maybe Evernote, I didn't try, above Safari. That is one experience difference. And I told you that we are going to open the highlighted database and do collaborative filtering thing. And that is one thing that Evernote cannot do because it's a safe note app, right?
Does any of your members have expertise in the deep learning area, or?
Not actually expertise in machine learning, but I am the programmer in this team, and well, I did some projects, but yeah, I'll work on it actually. Yeah.
So it's a very social app that you're building out. What's like the distribution plan behind the sharing sort of action that you guys have? What's the distribution plan there?
Our ambitious plan there.
What is your distribution plan? Like when someone sort of shares, what's it look like?
Distribution plan of the share action thing. We don't have exact that share action distribution thing, but as people share this highlighted page with others, the pages itself will promote our service itself because we have that banner there. It was highlighted by Liner. So as people highlight and share more and more, people will see that this was highlighted by Liner. And when you touch that, you get to download the app. So that's one of the.
I think one of the feedbacks is if someone uses Liner and they opt to sort of share on social channels like Facebook or Twitter, it might be an interesting strategy for you guys to take a screen capture of sorts, a couple sentences before, a couple sentences afterwards, give it context, and show the highlighted section with your little logo there.
Right.
I think that might be an interesting way for you guys to funnel in that sort of key factor.
Actually, we're doing that.
Great.
Yeah, really.
Perfect.
Not yet, but it's going to be added to the next version.
Yeah, I like the way you implement the app. So it's frictionless, right? So you can highlight from anywhere, and then the readers it doesn't have to download the app, right? So they can see the highlight on any browser. And then for the monetization, you're still trying to figure out how much, and then if it's either paid or subscription. But do you have any good example? Like a social bookmark or this social app, paid app or subscription, successful case that you can share?
Well, there are some companies like Instapaper or Pocket, where actually they are becoming a successful company, not yet super success company, but they are doing well. And we are trying to become a platform based on the highlighting action. So maybe we should talk about the market size of like native ads that targets my interest based on my highlighting sentence. So I know that the native ad market is huge. Yeah, that will be one of our markets in the future.
So I'm very intrigued with your idea, and I think it's actually very close to what I do for a living myself. I guess, first of all, I think your presentation was really crisp and to the point. I really like the value proposition in so many ways. But maybe one of the things that makes me pause is, are people really going to go through the work and highlight, right? A long document. You have a long document, and are people really going to highlight that document and then pass it on to others? Because the reading situation of mobile in itself, an impediment for that, I think. And I guess I like the way that you were moving this idea towards a social app, where you can do a lot of sharing, maybe almost post things on Twitter and so on. And if you're able to do that, I think you could be, of course, very successful. But I think maybe my instinct is more leaning towards this is more relevant for B2B, like a business tool. Because in that sense, then it's more important to actually go through the rigor of reading the material when you're on the go. So maybe not so much B2C, but B2B. But, you know, this is more a hunch more than anything else.
All right, I'll think about it. Thank you.
So I like what you guys are doing. I think, you know, whenever sort of people share articles, what do? They quote that article, right?
Yep.
A piece within it, and that's what you're trying to streamline there. So I get the value proposition. Just metrics-wise, you said you have 5,000 beta users. Of those, what do you think is like the average median, you know, shares per user on a monthly basis for you guys?
Shares?
Yeah.
Shares. Actually, sharing is quite low right now. Yeah, there are a lot of highlighting, but low shares right now.
Well, highlighting doesn't really matter unless they're sharing it, right?
Yeah, if we are going to scale, we need sharing.
And then you guys aren't on the publisher side, right? It's just on the user side, consumer side, download the app and they integrate it in? And it's not any publisher side related yet, right?
No.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chol Ho-jung. I'm working for a software company called BD as a co-founder. Today, I'd like to talk about a cloud-based automation service for mobile application testing, which is called Testi. Let me start my presentation with the problems in the mobile application market. As you can see here, nowadays, it is very common to encounter critical failures of mobile applications, such as installation fail, launching fail, crashes, and freezes. And therefore, we got a lot of feedbacks from our customers like, your application is not working on my phone. And those critical failures have serious impact on your business. According to the Mobile Application Survey report, when customers encounter those critical failures, they don't usually like to use your application anymore. It means you're going to lose not only your customers, but also your market and money. So our question is coming from that point. Why cannot we get rid of those critical failures? And you notice that it is so natural to encounter those critical failures because there are too many different types of devices in the market we had to test, but we can due to the limitation of time and resources. Besides, there is no solution or service that can do the mobile application testing without human works. Our competitors like Google, Beeper, and Keynote, they are the leaders in testing market, but they don't support testing without human works. That's why it is almost impossible to test your applications for multiple devices to prevent critical failures and keep your money. Then, how can you overcome those critical failures? Here is a solution, a fast, easy, and cheap cloud-based testing solution called Testi. Testi has two patented technologies to support testing without human works as follows. One technology is for automatic navigation of user flows without making any human interactions with your applications. The other technology is for identifying, analyzing your application's objects like screens and user interface elements and events in the real time. With the help of those two technologies, the Testi service has three major benefits compared to other competitors' services in the market. First, we don't need to install and launch your applications for multiple devices because Testi will do that for you. Second, we don't need to develop any test scripts to prepare your test cases. Third, we don't need to any hand-operate works to execute your testing. From now on, let's see how Testi service makes it possible. To test your application, you just upload your application package file into the Testi website, and then choose the appropriate testing options. So here, you can specify testing devices and also some input values like ID and password if your applications needs them. And then just click the Start button to start your testing. That's it. All human works are done. From now on, Testi service will take care of all other things to finish your testing without human works. Let's watch this video clip together carefully. While the application is getting tested, the Testi service will install and launch your applications for multiple devices simultaneously and automatically. As you can see here, there are multiple devices. And each of the devices are now displaying the screens of your applications without any hand-operated works because tested service navigate all of the user flows instead of you automatically. And also, tested takes a screenshot of your applications and creates tree-based service map as shown here, so we can easily identify which devices have the problems with your applications in screen resolution. We can also collect information like CPU and memory usage and errors, including application exceptions, installation fail, launch fail, crashes, and freezes. We can also have the compatibility report as shown here. So you see some red marks. A red mark indicates that there is a problem for a specific device. So here we can identify which devices are not compatible with your applications. If you click the red marks, you can also see the detailed information on errors, like where the errors coming from and what kinds of errors we have for your applications. We have finished your testing without hand-operated wars. So now we can prevent the critical failures in your applications and keep your money before we release them into the marketplace. This is the last thing I want to share with you today. Tested service tomorrow. We have only 30 devices in our laboratory today, but we're going to have thousands of devices by the end of this year. We have support only compatibility and smoke testing today, but we're going to expand our testing suite by including functional test, usability test, interrupt test, and so on, using our patented technologies. Today, we are opening our service here in Korea, but we'll open our service in worldwide this year. So, I dare to say that Tested will be the key player in the mobile application testing market very soon. Thank you.
I think the developers can save time. It's really appealing to a lot of developers. But compared to the manual operated test script, what do you think about do you catch the same error failure as other competitors, or you can catch more?
I think it depends on the types of testing. For the compatibility and smoke testing, we can catch all the things like other manual testing. But for the functional testing, there's some kind of scenarios. So currently, we are developing on the define the scenarios because we navigate all of the flows, and so we know the path of the applications, and we try to create and develop functionality like define your testing scenarios based on our service map. But currently we do not have. So for the manual test, we do not support yet for the functional test. By the way, there are two big differentiations. Manual testing does not support any separation between test data and testing logic. It means if you wanted to test with different tests, for example, let's say there's a name test for input data for John, and if you wanted to test your application with different names like Jamie, and then you should rewrite your test code. But our solution doesn't need to do anymore because we have technologies to find the objects in the real time and then map the information, multiple testing data. So yeah, that's the difference, I think.
Your technology seems to rely very much on the underlying operating systems. For example, Android's UI system and events, iOS UI systems and events, right? I think it's a very nice approach to automatically detect all those events in order to generate the use cases and testing cases. However, I see that there's a limitation in developing web apps, for example. Because web apps are mainly they're rendered by native UI views, web views, and you cannot actually detect any events internal to the web view.
Okay.
So how would you handle that situation?
Currently, we support native apps and hybrid apps and mobile web for the Android. Actually, our base technology. Using our some kind of open source like Selenium and Robotium, and we expand those the open source because there's coming from the website. So we have a technology to navigate all of the websites. So if you just input the URL of your service, and we make it hybrid apps internally, and using our internal mechanisms, we can also navigate all of the website.
Oh, all right. I wasn't actually mentioning the navigation of the websites. I was actually mentioning internal UI events generated inside the web views. Because in order to handle that, you will have to drill down within the web browser engine, which is not accessible in operating systems.
Yeah, sure. We have a limitation on that. By the way, I think we can expand our functionality because like a Robotium has covers a small setup of user interface elements like buttons, list box, and so they do not support any. For example, Android's action bar, spinner, they do not support that. And like that, we also have some research and knowledge to do that. Okay.
So I think this is great value add, right? Like when you sort of came out here, I sort of read this auto navigation technology to sort of automatically test. That's a great value add. Developers will everywhere just understand right away what you're trying to do. But obviously, right now, you guys are just doing smoke tests and compatibility, which everyone else does. When is the actual exciting thing coming? When are you guys thinking about actually doing the timeline for usability testing? When's that coming out?
Okay, so we have a plan, a roadmap. Sure. So for the next time, we're gonna develop interop testing because nowadays many the customer's requirements for the interop testing while your application is working. If there's a SMS and is it working or not. And so we're gonna first develop interop testing, and for the usability testing, currently we have all the information like the size of the buttons and location of the buttons. So we can forecast the usability like if a button has different locations for the every screens, it means you're gonna have low learnability. Yeah, that's why so we have planned to usability for next year actually, but it is a very difficult one. By the way, we have two main technology: auto navigation and real-time object analysis, and I think we can have one next year.
Next year?
Yeah, for the usability.
I guess my perspective is that it's obviously a fantastic idea, fantastic potential if you're able to do it. And I was really intrigued reading the introduction. I was thinking this was going to be, something that could really scale. I guess after listening to your presentation and thinking through it a little bit more, I guess my biggest concern is really how feasible it is to actually do testing of user experience, user engagement across all these different platforms. So, and I don't know enough about testing, but my worry is that it's just simply too hard to actually do proper automated user experience and user engagement testing across all these platforms automatically.
So, like him, like his questions, it's about usability testing actually, for the user experience. But yeah, it is very difficult area. By the way, for the last 2.5 years, we are working on this, product. So we have some knowledge, but actually we need some time, to cover the user experience testing. So,
but do you think it's possible?
Yeah, we believe. Just forecasting, not actually, nowadays, we have, okay. Nowadays they are usually test usability and user experience. If there are some testing crews, and using the testing crews, they deploy their applications and they they integrate some kind of SDK to figure out what is the user experience when your test crews are working on that. By the way, we cannot get the physical usability, user experience actually, but we believe we can forecast usability because as I mentioned earlier, we know that if every screen has different location of your buttons, and it means the customers may not learn your applications very well. So we believe we can forecast. So for that, we have actually 3 patents, in Korea, and now issuing our 1 patent for the United States. So yeah, maybe we can make it.
네, 안녕하십니까. 게임코치 대표 송광준 인사드립니다. 지금까지 영어 발표 들으시느라 힘들었죠? 오늘 관객의 90%가 한국인이라는 점을 감안해서 바로 한국어로 발표를 바꿔서 진행해 보겠습니다. 저희는 온라인 게임 코치 서비스입니다. 이거를 조금 쉽게 말하자면 그냥 정말 게임을 잘하도록 가르치는 서비스입니다. 말씀하신 그대로 리그 오브 레전드랑 스타크래프트를 가르치는 것이지요. 어떻게 가르치는지 바로 영상으로 보여드리겠습니다. 첫 번째 저희의 온라인 강의입니다. 저희는 프로게이머를 섭외해서 메가스터디처럼 게임 강의를 촬영했습니다. 그래서 이를 고객이 구매하고 실력을 향상시킬 수 있도록 했죠. 잠시 보시겠습니다.
쓰레쉬가 랜턴을 뒤로 던져주면서 빠르게 전멸. 그리고 이 스킬을 통해서 베인을 한번 쓸어주고 바로 Q 스킬을 맞춰주면서 베인을 무난하게 Q2 잡아주는 모습이죠.
또한 저희는 1대1 과외를 진행합니다. 프로게이머와 고객이 게임 속에서 직접 만나서 가르쳐주는 그런 서비스입니다. 가격은 조금 비싸지만 상호작용이 훨씬 효율적입니다. 잠시 보시겠습니다.
지금 하는 게 빨리 들어가보세요. W를 누르고 B키를 눌러서 큐 아니 님! 상대편한테 마우스를 대고 E를 누른 다음에 거기다 R키를 누르세요. R하고 네, 이런 식으로 그렇게 하시면 돼요. 그냥.
게임코치는 2015년 3월에 런칭을 했습니다. 그리고 놀랍게도 첫 달 매출 $7,000, 약 700만 원을 이뤄냈으며 이를 지켜본 DEV라는 뉴욕 벤처 캐피탈에서 이거를 좀 더 세계화를 시켜보자라면서 투자를 제안했습니다. 그래서 초기 투자와 함께 뉴욕에서 엑셀러레이션 프로그램을 받게 되었습니다. 그래서 저희 게임 코치는 7월 6일부터 8월 6일까지 뉴욕에서 법인 설립, 등록, 통장 개설, 그 외 프로게이머 섭외 등 준비를 마치고 8월 6일부터 제대로 된 사업을 시작할 것입니다. 투자자가 저희 게임 코치를 선택했던 이유는 단 2가지였습니다. 첫 번째로 1,300억 달러의 시장. 지금까지 나온 발표 중에서 어떤 시장보다도 큰 곳이죠. 130조 원은 영화 산업보다 훨씬 더 큰 규모일 뿐만 아니라 지금 VR, 가상기기들이 나오고 있는 시점에서 더더욱 성장하고 있는 시장입니다. 그리고 이것이 DEV가 저희를 택했던 2번째 이유입니다. 저희는 게임 교육 시장, 즉 게임 강의를 누가 살까? 여기에 대해서 $29 정도로 월드 오브 워크래프트 강의를 짧게 만들어서 유데미라는 자신의 영상을 팔 수 있는 곳에 올려보았습니다. 그런데 놀랍게도 $29 그리고 오늘 기준으로 613명이 구매를 했습니다. 이를 따지면 약 $18,000, 즉 1,800만 원이죠. 정말 와우 간단한 강의 하나만으로 1,800만 원을 벌었다는 것. 말해주는 것은 단 하나입니다. 게임 코치는 됩니다. 저희가 오늘 온 이유는 단 한 가지입니다. 저희는 시리즈 A 투자를 유치해야 합니다. 저희 초기 투자는 DEV에서 받았고 뉴욕 진출을 준비 중입니다. 하지만 공격적인 해외 마케팅을 펼치고 해외 인건비를 유치하기 위해서는 더더욱 큰 자금 마련이 필요합니다. 마지막 페이지입니다. 구글, 마이크로소프트, 애플, 아마존 이 4가지 회사의 공통점이 무엇인지 아십니까? 바로 게임 산업에 큰 돈을 투자하고 있다는 것인데요. 특히 게임 방송 인터넷 업체인 트위치 TV가 1조 원에 인수될 줄 누가 알았겠습니까? 여러분, 게임 코치라는 로켓은 한국 시장에서 테스트를 마치고 뉴욕에 진출을 준비하고 있습니다. 게임 산업은 시대의 흐름이자 막을 수 없는 트렌드입니다. 자, 이제 게임 코치 로켓 출발합니다. 투자자분들 얼른 올라타 주세요. 감사합니다.
So this is great. I love esports.
Thank you.
I'm very bullish on esports as well. Good to see you got some investments going. Couple things. So regarding your coaches, the biggest limiting factor here is that your players, right, the coaches, are only limited to servicing the students of their language, right? So Korean players will only be able to sort of coach the Korean students.
Yeah, so now we have only Korean player coach.
Yep.
Yeah, but if we go to New York, yeah, we will find the pro gamer in USA also.
Why are you going to New York?
Because I want the globalization. And did you see that Udemy?
Yeah,
so we got the 1,000. Yeah.
Yep.
So we need globalization.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the U.S., all the pro gamers you're going to find in the U.S. are going to be in Santa Monica and San Francisco. Those might be good sort of places for you to tap into.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll consider it.
But yeah, esports in the U.S., it's already bigger than basketball. It's going to be bigger than football probably in the next 10 years as well. So it's a good place. I love what you guys are doing. And hopefully you guys are going to be able to sort of find more coaches as well. So how many coaches you guys have on staff right now?
So now 60.
60?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And then how much do they charge?
No, we don't need to charge. So this is commission. So if customer buy it, we give 50% royalty to pro gamer.
You give 50%?
Yeah.
You take 50%?
Yeah, that's right.
Wow, that's a lot. Okay. What's like the average ticket item for you guys?
Average thinking?
How much is the entire sort of transaction worth for you guys?
So now 500 people joined our service, and 300 people buy our service.
And then they buy by the hour?
Lecture and one-on-one coaching.
Okay. And then the coaches are setting the prices themselves?
Yes, right.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
So the contents you have in your website, you cannot find them on either YouTube or Twitch. Very different style of contents.
Yeah. So yeah, we have competitors because one-on-one coach is a very unique service. So you can't find in Twitch, in YouTube, that one-on-one coach service.
네, 우리말로 물어보겠습니다. 지금 이 유사한 서비스를 하는 데가 이제 해외 같은 경우에 지금 글로벌 진출을 생각하고 계시잖아요. 그러니까 해외 유사한 서비스를 하고 있는 데가 어딘지 그리고 어떤 차별점이 있는지 좀.
정말 해외 유사한 서비스는 정말 트위치 TV 정도가 있습니다. 그렇지만 트위치 TV는 이제 정말 재미를 추구하고 뭔가 정말 실력을 높이겠다는 것보다는 재미를 추구합니다. 두 번째는 아까도 말했듯이 1대1 과외 서비스는 트위치 TV에서 찾을 수가 없습니다. 하지만 저희는 1대1 과외 서비스를 통해서 쉽게 프로게이머와 만날 수 있다는 거죠.
그러면은 예를 들어서 해외 미국이라고 하면은 미국에 있는 그 프로게이머들하고의 네트워크가 이미 구축이 되어 있는 상황이죠.
DV가 그걸 잘합니다. DV가 저희가 좋았던 게 라이엇 게임즈와 바로 연결해주고 라이엇 게임즈와 롤을 했던 그런 프로게이머와 연결을 해줬습니다. 네.
Coaching sessions are done through like Skype in the background?
Yeah, we are using Skype or Talkon, Naton, so a lot
But
of
it's not on the actual screen, right? They're just playing a game and listening in the background?
Yes, right.
Okay. Can you tell me about your team, just sort of the makeup there?
Okay, so we have one developer and 2 designer, 2 PD, so 2 video editor and marketer. That's all.
You guys come from esports?
So one guy is was pro gamer, and I worked at a patent company, and in there I worked with a lot of game companies, so I have a huge network in there.
I was just wondering, how hard is it for the pro gamers to not go through you? Could they do that? Could they do this directly?
Oh, pardon?
Yeah, if you're a pro gamer and you want to do classes and lectures, could you do that directly without having to give you a cut? You know, how much value do you add to the, to a pro gamer?
So you mean how much I give the money to pro gamer?
No, more the value. So say if I'm a pro gamer, which I'm certainly not, but if I'm a pro gamer and, lots of people know who I am and so on, maybe I could just provide those lectures myself, and instead of having 50%, I could get 100%.
Okay, because if a pro gamer come to our game coach, so we will do movie edit, because we have a professional edit player, so we will make more quality, better movie. So, yeah. And we will do marketing also.
But do big pro gamer really need marketing? I mean, aren't they celebrities in their own right?
Yeah, they need marketing. So now a lot of pro gamer in here.
Okay, thank you.
So is your revenue going to the team that the pro gamers represent, or is it going to be going to the gamers themselves?
Pardon?
When you guys book a coach, is that going to be going to the team that they represent, or is that going to be going to the players themselves?
No, just players themselves.